At one point, I have to admit, I felt resentment toward God for a while because I would pray to him and ask, Lord, why am I going through this? I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me. Where are you, Lord? And it was a silence along with the pain I felt. And I'd say, Lord, for God's sake, I can't take it anymore. Look at my life. I came to this place to die. And then sometimes I'd go running and ask my mom, Mom, lock the door. Don't let me go out. My mom would say, Oh, how am I going to lock the door? How am I going to lock the door? You'll just give me even more trouble because you'll want to jump out the window. I was a very stressed person. I was a very nervous person, even vengeful. And I acquired this from a whole life context, including the fact that I suffered abuse from someone who should have cared for me, where I was abused by a nanny. She molested me. I always liked partying a lot. Clubs, gatherings, barbecues, friends. So I really liked carnival. So much so that in the city I came from, there were 7 days of revelry. Right, so we'd make the most of it. And it was morning, afternoon, and night, which is how I ended up, getting addicted. Right, where I used a lot of drugs to the point of also getting sick, going to a hospital, needing help. I'd come back worse than before I left. Because when you go out, you get dressed up, you pick your clothes, you're all set. Then you drink, then you smoke, then you snort, then you inhale poppers, then you go smoke weed. You adapt to the environment. And then when you find yourself alone, which is when you get home, that's when the thoughts come, the feelings. Once again, look what I've done. I can't take it anymore. And many times I'd realize I was at home. I'd realize I was already at the club in front of the mirror. I'd say, what am I doing here? There are people who would say to me, look at you. You're going up now. Your kids will be awake, your mother too. Look at how you're arriving. What a shame. When are you going to do something about it? Many times, the same person who was used to sponsor the drugs on the ride back, they would use those words. And I felt like trash. I even tried going to some churches because since the city is big, you don't know them. Arriving at the church, I would hear they say, God was with you. Come on, things will work out. No, I didn't have any more time for things to work out. I needed it to be something that would change my life right then. No, so that's why I was going there to seek it, because I had reached a point where I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want it anymore. The worship, it impacts you, right? Because worship, it stirs your emotions. I didn't need my emotions to be stirred. I needed something that would truly move me. And then, with the guy the first was dating at the time, he was invited to go to an assistance consecration. And he asked me to go. And before I knew it, I was inside the universal church. And the funniest thing is, those voices came, but they're thieves. You're here, just imagine, they're gonna rob you. But God, He is so wonderful and so awesome that in that sermon, He said everything that I thought He wasn't hearing. In that sermon, He spoke of the times I knelt down when I'd say, "Where are you, Lord?" Of the times I thought I was gonna die. Of the times when nobody loved me. Of the times when there was no way out. And He said, I want this life. And I'm talking to you who tried to end it and said later that you weren't even good for that. This is the life I want. That impacted me in a way so great that I said, it's not possible. The one who wouldn't listen to advice. That proud one. The one who also couldn't take it anymore. And I said to God, Lord, if you tear this sadness from me, this addiction where I can't go a day without drugs, which even right here now, I feel like smoking and snorting, Hori. I'm telling the truth. I have the urge. If you don't take this from me, I'll leave here. I'll do it because I have the urge. I have a strong urge. And I was talking to God as if there was someone, right in front of me. If you take this from me, because I've tried everything and I can't, I give you my word that I'll surrender my life to you. And I will never again will I do anything that isn't according to how you direct me. And then I left, got the car, called my friends and said, I want to know where you are because I'm coming over. I went to the bar, ordered a beer, and I'd already stopped to get my cigarettes. By the time I sat down, everyone was already drinking. When I took that first sip, it was awful. A horrible taste that I said, man, this beer is terrible. Is it flat? And then I said, you know what? I went and smoked a cigarette. Man, the more but I choked. I couldn't even inhale anymore. I said, what's happening to me? Everyone was teasing me. What's going on with you? Are you acting weird? I said, okay, here's the deal. Let's go get some drugs. The moment I sneezed it all out, tried again, and the burning here, it burned right here, and my nose was running like this. But it burned so much. And yet I kept trying. I forced myself to smoke. I forced myself to drink. I forced myself to snort. Then I hear a voice inside me, I am with you. Wow. When I heard that voice, he reminded me of the vow I made to him at the altar. Do you remember what you say? You have no addiction. And right then I said, my God, it's true. Lord, I couldn't use it anymore. I have no desire. Lord, I don't have the desire anymore. And then he showed me he was cleansing me. And that tomorrow, which was, the day of the service, I could go. And so I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every week. And I told God, now I'm here because you did what I couldn't even imagine had already been done. So I distanced myself from those friends. The first thing I did was delete them. There was no reason to be checking statuses, no reason to be talking if that wasn't what I wanted anymore. And then on Wednesday, I went and I had a wonderful experience with God. And then as I heard the word, as I prayed, as I meditated, I began to understand what I needed to do. God told me I needed to release forgiveness to the girl who molested me. And God created a situation. I managed to find her through my social media. And so I wrote to her. As soon as I sent it, she replied. She replied saying she'd been looking for me for a long time because she'd converted and wanted to ask for forgiveness for everything she'd done to me. And then I went to God and said, Lord, I did it. Can I receive your spirit? Because I heard and I didn't know that I had to have you inside of me. Where is that? And then I went on the greatest search of my entire life. I begged God for his presence because it wasn't enough for him to be walking with me, guiding me, ask for forgiveness, forgive others, do this and that friendship, do this, don't do that. He needed to be inside of me because I was going to stay until the end. And during that search, I heard that voice again. I am with you. My daughter. And then I left. It felt like I had, a strength, that I could face anything, everything and everyone. And then I saw that I wasn't alone anymore, that I wasn't that suffering girl anymore, that I wasn't that depressed, distressed girl anymore, full of trauma. No, I received the greatest gift of my life. Today, I have the Lord walking with me, guiding me, helping me so I don't make mistakes, so I don't sin, teaching me the word. So today he comes and he has straightened out every area of my life. He gave me a relationship because I said, Lord, I don't want someone who doesn't have a thirst for winning souls like I do. And the coolest thing was to honor God that my civil wedding was 1 month. The following month, we got married at the altar. The pastor gave us the blessing, with our family. In that girl who needed to be surrounded by friends, have many relationships. That girl who needed to use drugs, as I mentioned, participated in carnival and parties endlessly, right? Today, that girl doesn't need that anymore. Today, I have peace. I have tranquility. I don't have anger anymore. I don't have hatred anymore. On the contrary, today, when I see a suffering person, I already want to go to them and say, come, do this. Don't carry this feeling because this feeling only hurts. You, not the other person. Forgiveness is about you. Let it go. It's over. Go. Come on. Come. Jesus is here. He will forgive you. And so today I have this certainty that God is with me, that God is in my life, and that I have this thirst to go until the end so that my salvation may be achieved.